Everyone says this draft sucks. No stars in the 2024 class. A curse to get the number 1 pick. Really? The draft people compare this to is 2013. Anthony Bennett went number 1. All-time bust. But down the list, number 15, Giannis Antetokounmpo. 27, Rudy Gobert. Even the worst draft in 10 years had 2 Hall of Famers. The worst draft ever was 2000 with 3 All-Stars. So who's that gonna be in 2024? People have been telling us this draft sucks so much, we don't even know these kids. So let's dive deep on the best players in this class, because multiple All-Stars will be drafted. So the first thing to know is which team drafts first. Last year, the top 4 was down to the Rockets, Spurs, Hornets, and Blazers. Rockets got 4, Blazers 3, Hornets 2, Spurs Wemby. It is based on a lottery system where you get more ping pong balls the worse record you have. So the Spurs, Pistons, and Wizards have the best chance at number 1 this year. But it's no guarantee. Detroit was there last year, fell all the way to 5. But it works both ways. You can get really lucky. 8 times a team with less than a 7% chance got the number 1 pick. 3 times it was less than 2%. That means this year number 1 could be the Bulls or the Hawks or the Thunder, who have Houston's pick from the Chris Paul trade. Anything can happen, but who will they select? There are 6 players who could possibly go number 1, according to dozens of mock drafts. Half of them are European. You would never see that a few years ago. Teams were afraid to draft a Euro number 1. It's why DeAndre Ayton and Marvin Bagley went ahead of Luka Doncic. We had all the signs Luka was going to be legit. Best player in Europe at 20 years old, MVPs, but oh, the big American. More like big mistake. Now the best NBA players are not American. The last 5 MVPs born outside the US. The stereotype used to be that they're soft. Now it's the opposite. Euro kids play in academies from a young age and have to face old, sweaty, hairy dudes in European leagues. They are taught discipline. Americans have AAU. Don't matter if you lose today, we got 3 more games tomorrow. Totally pampered and playing against other kids their age. I hate to say it, but non-Americans are taking over. So let's reveal these picks from the least likely to the most likely to go first. And the least likely is Cody Williams, number 1 overall in one mock draft, NBADraft.net. The brother of Jalen Williams, J-Dub from OKC. Cody is super athletic like Big Bro, good defender, but taller at 6'8". Good handles, enough to be a point forward. The problem is he's not strong enough to dominate in the paint. 6'8", 180. 180? We all know 180-pound people. They ain't 6'8". I only see him going 1 if, like, the Hornets pick first. They need a dog to complement their core of LaMelo, Brandon Miller, and Mark Williams. Next, Reed Sheppard, 6'3" guard from Kentucky. The Ringer had him number 1 in a previous mock because the Spurs picked first. A great fit with Wembanyama. Dude is a dog on defense despite being smaller and hit 52% from 3 this year. Add his playmaking, and there is no better teammate for Wemby. Both Reed's parents played ball for Kentucky as well, and he went from high school hero to college star, so it was devastating. UK got upset in the first round of March Madness, but despite a bad game from Reed, there's a small chance he goes number 1. Next likely, Nikola Topic, number 1 pick in one mock as well, SB Nation. Kid is a 6'6" guard from Serbia. Amazing skills at the rim. Loves to drive and score, drive and dish. His dad was a legend in Serbian basketball, winning the silver medal in the '96 Olympics. Nikola's problem is he can't shoot. It's so bad, defenses sag off him a lot. For that reason, I don't see the Spurs taking him. They need spacing around Wemby. The only way he goes first is to the Wizards. They need a point guard with Tyus Jones, a free agent. Topic could be special. Next is Rob Dillingham, a 6'3" guard from Kentucky. ESPN wrote a whole article making the case for why he goes number 1 with the ceiling of Trae Young. Hits 45% of his threes. A big-time riser this year. Had to be mentally strong because of his crazy background. Rob was sitting at home when Kanye West FaceTimed him. Ye asked him to move to LA at 16 years old to join the Donda Academy. It was a school Ye set up, and Rob's commitment rocked the basketball recruiting world. They played for about a year, but Ye's mental breakdown led to the school breaking up and everyone had to transfer. Rob's dad then revealed how shady it really was. As Rob's dad, I was not informed about the offer to attend Donda Academy. Neither Rob's mother, brother, or sister have communicated Rob's whereabouts to me. There's been so much deception. Everything spun out of control. My feeling, Rob wants to reach out to me but cannot. Reports said Ye banned chairs at the school, forced players to eat nothing but sushi. All the doors were locked from the outside. Rob had to sign an NDA so no official info is out, but he transferred to Overtime Elite before Kentucky. If he goes number 1, maybe the Spurs take him, maybe the Rockets to eventually replace Fred VanVleet. But the second most likely number 1 is Zaccharie Risacher, who is first in a ton of mocks, including ESPN and The Athletic. A 6'8" forward from France, an elite shooter this year, hitting 44% from 3. He can catch and shoot off the dribble, off movement. He's got long arms to defend, but not consistent yet. Think of him as like a Michael Porter Jr. Zachary's problem is poor finishing at the rim, but he too comes from a basketball family. His dad is Stefan, a great EuroLeague player, and Zaccharie was born in Spain when dad was playing there. He goes number 1 if a couple of teams pick. Maybe Detroit, because they need a forward who can shoot. Same for the Blazers, maybe the Rockets. But the most likely number 1 is Alex Sarr, a 7'1" French forward who's playing in Australia. He is first for The Ringer, CBS, Bleacher Report, and Sports Illustrated. Not a shooter yet, but a dominant two-way big like a Jaren Jackson Jr. He can defend all over the court, in the paint, in space. He finishes and handles like a wing. His dad played pro basketball. Sensing a theme. His brother is on the Thunder right now, mostly in the G League. Alex was recruited to Real Madrid at 12 years old, wanted to follow in the footsteps of Luka Doncic. Then he moves to America to play for Overtime Elite for 2 seasons and turns pro 1 year in Australia. Alex started the year way down the draft, but everything changed in 2 games. His team played the G League Ignite, just like Wimby and Scoot did last year. Alex averaged 22 points, 9 boards, and 6 blocks. Scouts came away saying Alex goes number 1. Teams that could take him: the Wizards, Hornets, Grizzlies, and maybe the Raptors. So because there's no clear number 1, who goes 1 greatly depends on which team is picking. The Blazers don't need another guard. The Spurs do need a guard and good defense. We will find out the draft order on May 12th. But whoever gets drafted is coming into a completely different league than it was when the year started, because the NBA changed their rules in the middle of the season but didn't tell anybody. Luckily, a bunch of people noticed that this happened, did an investigation, confronted the NBA, and the NBA lied to our faces. So I broke down the entire thing and explained why the NBA is actually lying.